Well, g'day everyone. Wanted to talk to you about a device that's been sent to me from Feelworld. It's a really good little video mixer that you can use for live streaming and things like that. And it's beautiful the way it works. In fact, it's very, very small, but it has some great features built in, including a little monitor that really makes life a lot easier. So they asked me if I was interested in it, and I said, yes, send it to me and I'll have a look at it. So let's have a look and I'll show you what the unit is. This is the unit here. So it is Feelworld, and it's called the LIVEPRO L1, and it's a multi-format video mixer. You can see the unit itself here. Now, it has multi-camera operation. It does work with PC and Mac, but the software has still got to be developed for me on the Mac side. I think the PC side is already available, but I've got this pre-release, so there's no software yet that I could sort of connect it to the computer. It does have picture-in-picture. It does have also USB 3 live streaming. So, in other words, what you can do is it just sees your computer will see it just as a webcam, which is fantastic. So all you need is a USB lead that it comes with, connect it to your computer, and then you can stream with that straight away. And it also has the audio embedding as well. Let me just scroll down. I'll show you how the unit looks. If you look here, there's 4 ports on the back, so you can have 4 HDMI ports. They're just labeled 1 to 4, and that's your HDMI out that connects to your monitor or your computer. There's USB 3 and also LAN that you can use to control this as well. There's audio in and also audio out. Like I said, you can put 4 HDMI ports in, so that could be cameras, it could be iPads, computers, whatever you'd like to attach to it. The control panel, if you look at it down here as well, is really quite beautiful. This is how you just switch between your cameras. The active one, and I'll show this working. The active one through here is in red, and then you can just press the next one and then click to that directly. You can use the T-bar if you'd like to work that way, or you can just change it in the settings so you can just click directly onto the cameras. That's the way I like to use it. I prefer to not use the T-bar, and you get this lovely little screen. Look, it's not very high resolution at all, but at least you can see what each camera is, so it makes it so you don't make a mistake about what you're switching to, which is really nice the way it works. You have a full menu system that you can just press down through here, and this switch here is how you get to things like your picture-in-picture and how your transitions are being affected and things like that, which works really nice too. If we look at the whole unit down here, you can sort of see how it looks. On this side, I think there's just a mounting screw or something like that. On this side over here too, you've got your audio in, your audio out, USB and your LAN control as well. And that's just looking from the back. These are probably just little heat sinks. I can't really hear it. It's working now. It's very quiet, so that's nice. Just sort of shows some connections, how you could sort of set it up through here. I'll leave this link so you can have a look at how it's set up. The beauty is, though, you can just connect it directly through USB and use it just like you're sort of looking at here, and it's a very simple setup. You do get much better quality, though, if you're dealing with using HDMI out instead of using USB, though, and I tested that later on, and I'll show that actually working. The T-bar looks really nice, how you use it, and again, I'll show that, how it works as well, and there's some information here about the audio connecting in. I did do this and I tried it. It wasn't working very effective for me in the unit that I've got due to the fact there just wasn't enough power coming from the microphone, so you need a powered device to get it to work. The way that I'll connect it is through a Rode Procaster Go, and then it's perfect. If you embed the audio in the HDMI, it works fine. So if you're using it like I am, which is an external microphone overhead, connected into a Rodecaster and everything, it works fine. Or if you embed the audio into the camera, like I'm using an A6400 at the moment, if you put a microphone directly into that, that will also work fine because the sound comes through the HDMI. I only had issues if I wanted to use external connectors like you're seeing here with the microphone. You can use it as 6 picture-in-picture, and I'll show that working, only through the software I'm using though. But if you connected it to a separate monitor, you could use it and then obviously select cameras and things like that as well. I couldn't, like I said, I couldn't get that to work fully because I can't get the networking to work as well. But it looks like a really great device. Okay, so let me just show you how all this works, the way the menus work and also how you can switch and everything in this unit. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch to a different camera now, and then you'll see the unit being used. So if I switch down here, at the moment I'm using a T-bar, and I'll show you how you can change that so you don't have to have that set. Okay, so the way that this works is you can see all of the individual cameras that are up the top through here. So I've got 3 cameras that are on at the moment. And if, for instance, at the moment, you can see this is red because that's the active channel. If I click onto number 1 and then press here, you'll see now that that has gone red and now that has become active. So that's how it switches over. If I wanted to go back to the unit that you're seeing here, you can see how that switches. If I wanted to go to camera 3 or 4, I can just click on here because that's camera 4 and then switch over and it will go to the background camera as well. So that's one way that you can switch. As I bring it back again, it will go to the number 3. So whatever's active is red. But I prefer to do this manually. Now in the menu system through this, you can change that. So to change that, all I have to do is click on here a number of times, and you'll see here it's got mode T-bar. Now I use the control on the other side to select that and push down on this control. So then I can control it. At the moment you can see it says T-bar. If I put it onto that, and then I can go down here and change how long that takes to transition between the actual cameras. So I'm going to leave it like that now, and when I quit out of this, you'll notice that what it will do now is it's just going to switch by pressing the button. And you can see that it does a transition right there as well. So that's how that works. I prefer to go this way because it's much easier to just press the one that you want to go to and to get out of it. Now I do like the fact too that you can see which camera is there. You can see I haven't got any camera 2 on there at the moment, but you could put an iPad or anything like that. You could put whatever you wanted there. So that's really nice as well. So it's a great little system, and I do love the fact that you can see the camera so you don't have to guess which one is on, and you can tell straight away because whatever is active at the moment is going to be in red, and then you can see as I switch over that will become red. So it's nice. So you can use the T-bar if you like, but I think it's much better without it. Now to control your effects or your transitions, you'll notice if I click through here, this is where you get your mix. So then if I wanted to, I can say choose all of these different mixes, like it will go slide, reveals, there's all different ones that you can use. I like to use the fade, but you could do it just a cut if you wanted to. Now if I leave it on that one, you'll see what will happen now is when I switch now, it'll just cut. See, so it's instant. And like I said, I prefer it to sort of do that nice smooth transition across, which is really nice. Let me just come back. If I go down to here, I'm going to change that again so that it becomes the mix is fade, because I think that's much nicer. Now, if I go down, you can also do things like picture in picture as well. So if I wanted to, I can have here, for instance, you'll notice now what will happen is if I now press that, yep, so you can see how that now becomes picture in picture, and you can sort of determine where that will go. If I click down here, let me switch again. If I move down here, you can see that I can do to the other side if I wanted to go that way. So you can see it's there. If I wanted to go down to the bottom right hand corner, I could switch it over there as well. So you've got an awful lot of control about how you would do this, which is really nice. So in the mode switch, you've got your mix, which is your transitions. You've got your mode, which you can determine if you're using the T-bar or changing your slides manually, or you can come down here also and do picture in picture. There is another one here, but I believe that's for future. There might be a firmware update. They're saying it's for some future things that they're going to add in, which might be special effects or something. I'm not quite sure. Now to set up your menus for this, over this side here, you've got in here which you can check your input. So if I press down on the knob here, it'll tell you what your resolutions of all the cameras are. So you can see what your resolutions are of the cameras here. If I come back out, you can go down to HDMI. Now this is quite interesting, the HDMI one, because if I change this, and at the moment it's PGM, if I come on to preview, what it will do is this. This is how you can set up. So if you were going out to an external monitor or something, you can see all the cameras on the screen as they are, and then you could choose the cameras from this, so you could run sort of separate monitors and have previews and things like that. Now this does come with networking and stuff like that, but I can't set that up yet because there's no Mac software yet for this. This is pre-release, so I'm getting this before everyone else has got it. So eventually there'll be Mac software. I believe there is Windows software, but I haven't got that, so I can't do that at this stage. But it is a great feature if you wanted to do that. Let me just come back in and I'll turn that back again. So I'll go to PGM, so you'll just see it as it is. And the other menu, if we come down, is you've got USB 3 coming through here as well. You can change in there and put PGM or preview on that as well and change your resolutions. The only thing is I've noticed that they are only 60p, but it doesn't bother me because I'm using Wirecast to stream this, and it will output to whatever I want to use. So that doesn't really, it's not really a problem. Now with the audio setting, you can embed analog audio into the HDMI signal. You can also use external audio as well. But I have found that if you are going to use the external audio in, you do need to go into something like a Rodecaster Pro or something. You need an amplifier because the audio volume is quite low. If I was using the embedded audio from the HDMI signal in headphones, the audio actually is quite good. So you do have to be aware of that. If you are going to put external audio in, you need to have some sort of amplifier to boost it up. But I would be using this connected, as I am now, right to the Rodecaster Pro unit, and that way it works really, really good, and I can use XLR microphones and things like that. So that's probably how I'll work this. Well, it is how I'll work this. So that's that setup. Let me come down to here and show you also what's in this as well. You have got IP settings, so you can set this up if you're doing networking. It will give you reset. You can choose your language. And also you can, if you want to, get info, and it will give you all information about the device as well. Now you can see on the back of the unit that I've got the cables plugged in, the HDMI cables directly plugged in at the back. There's a HDMI out. This side here will be USB, so you can see this as a webcam, and I'll show this, how this sort of connects in a minute to something like Wirecast, so you can see how that works as well. If you want to adjust the volume, you can just sort of click in here and then you can change your volume as well. And that way you could alter your volume coming in if you're using external mics and things like that. So it's a pretty good unit. But like I said, the microphone input particularly needs to have some sort of audio amplifier, whereas if you're using the HDMI, it's fine. All right, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how you connect this into an application to stream live. There's two ways you can do this. I'm using Wirecast. You could use a lot of other programs that are out there as well. You could use free OBS if you wanted to go that way. You could use Ecamm. There's lots of different ways that you can do it. So first of all, I'll show you how I'm going to add the HDMI. So if I click into here, now you'll notice there's video capture, and it will see that. Now I've got that connected into my computer through a CamLink adapter. I could just plug it in, but it's through a CamLink at the moment. So if I go CamLink 4K video and say add, it will then add me in, and you can see there I am on the camera there. But there's no audio at this stage. So to add audio, I have to just click on here and then say audio capture. Now the way that I normally work, and the way I will do this, is I'm going to use my Rode here. So I'm going to add the Rode Procaster stereo audio and then say add. Now you'll notice now that I've got the video feed and I've also got the audio feed coming through. So that's how that will work. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a second camera that will use the USB, because this device just acts like a USB camera. So that's the beauty of this. It will act exactly like a USB camera, which is fantastic. So let me just see if I can add that. So I'll click into here, come up to here and say video capture. So this is what your computer would see. It's the eEver USB device video. So now if I add that into here, it will come up as a USB video. So like you could just connect this to any computer and add it as a USB camera. Now to get the audio in, I'll just click onto here and I'll go audio capture, and it now will be the Feelworld USB 3 audio capture. If I add that in, that will also bring audio in. Now you can see the audio meters running on the side there, so it has added that as well. So it's really good. So it's that simple to get the device connected into your computer using software. Like I'm using Wirecast, and like I said, you could use lots of other software. Then you could just stream live through this. Okay, so this is a test of the HDMI connection. Now this is directly from the camera HDMI and then HDMI out to the computer itself through an Elgato link into the computer. The audio is from a Rodecaster Pro, so this is testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I'm going to switch over to the USB connection. You'll notice there's a color shift, which is interesting. I'm not sure why, perhaps it's just the connection. There you can see the shift there. Now this audio is now through the HDMI, but the audio is embedded from the camera itself, and I'm using a wireless Go. So testing 1, 2, 3, 4, USB connection. So to sum up, what do I think about this? Well, in fact, I think it's really good. I do have the ATM Mini, and I'm probably going to keep this on because I like the way that you've got your monitors that display on the screen, and I think that's really nice. I think that's a really nice feature, and it's also very, very simple and takes up much less space on your desk. And you know, I think it's quite good. I mean, in some ways I suppose the ATM Mini might be easier in some ways because all the dials are on the unit itself. To get to some of the features through this unit, you do have to press some of the effects and menu buttons to get through it. But I very rarely use those. So for me, I'm probably very comfortable just using this as it is. And at least then I'm not going to make mistakes about which camera is on which port, because I can see it clearly. And I can also make sure that the camera is working because I can see the camera in the unit right down there as well. The audio is a little bit of a problem. Like I said, if you were connecting external audio into the unit, there just wasn't enough volume to make it work. So I'm not sure what's happening there, and like I said, I did contact the supplier, and they said to me that they were developing something to make that work, and it's probably an amplifier or something like that. But if you had audio embedded, it works fantastic because it just all comes through the HDMI cable. If you do use USB to connect, there is a penalty loss, and I've seen that with anything, that if you use USB, there's always a penalty as compared to, say, using HDMI out, which is what I recommend. And in fact, I've got that connected through a cam link, and that's the way that I've connected it to my computer, and that works much better, and you would have seen that during the demo. So thank you, Feelworld, for sending me this. I'm really enjoying using it. If you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. And I'll also leave the link on where you can get information about this and purchase it. Apart from that, everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.